Okay, hey, I just want to show you. I used to pick these, and this thing is like growing in the yard like crazy. And it's a sign from my ancestors, from my great-great-grandmother, who used to pick this wild spinach and cook it for me as a child. And now that I'm an adult and I came to the United States, they've made it take over my yard to let me know that I'm never gonna starve. I'm never gonna starve. I'm always gonna have a source of food. When Walmart can't bring us food, when Kroger can't bring us food, we're gonna have our own food. Now this is the garlic from the yard, and these are the cucumbers that I found today. I just found them right on time because they're actually pretty mature. They're very mature, and pretty much soon they would be no good. They're so mature that they have very good seeds. You see, look at how good these seeds are. I'm going to throw some of these seeds back in the yard to maintain the ever-going garden. But I'm also going to preserve some for posterity for when we run out of food and seeds and Monsanto goes out of business. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take my spinach, which I used to freeze, and I'm going to have it for dinner tonight. I'm going to have it for dinner tonight. I'm going to put some olive oil, some pepper, some salt. Okay, and then as I showed you, this is also garlic from outside. I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the one in the plastic. Then I'm also going to get some onions, which was also grown in the yard. And I think I have a little bit left. Okay, so I've got the onions. And I'm going to put the onions and the garlic in here. And I'm going to put the spinach in there and let it simmer for a little while. And I'm going to slice up the cucumbers and make me a little cucumber salad. I'll put a little garlic, a little onions, and a little salt, and a little olive oil on it. It's kind of old, it's kind of hard, it's kind of mature, but it's still edible. And usually you want to pick your cucumbers when they're young and eat them. But it is still food, and it is good food. And if you were starving, if you're in China or North Korea and eating it, or Haiti, you wouldn't say this cucumber is not good enough to eat. So this is going to be my dinner tonight. And to go with it, I have some crab meat. And this is some expensive ass crab meat. This crab meat costs about $27. Let me taste it. It's so crabby. I don't like the crabby. But I'm going to mix it with the... I think I'll do it by itself. I don't want it to mess up my spinach. So I'm just showing you, you can get food from your yard. You don't have to buy food. So right here, we got the organic spinach, and we got the store-bought crab meat. Very expensive. Can't be thrown away. You gotta eat it. No matter if you like it or you don't like it. I'm gonna mix it here a little bit at a time with my spinach and my garlic and my onions. And I'm gonna have a little bite. That is good. That is good. Now this is what you call foraging for food. How you have to know how to get food when there's no food. And we have so many plants in our yard growing that is actually food. And some of it I see in the Asian stores being sold. Others I've read about online and in this book. And I'll tell you one thing about this spinach. If you eat it just by itself, you can pretty much taste the iron in it and the healthiness in it. You know, I didn't feel to cook or eat today. And sometimes I don't feel like eating. But now I'm getting excited about eating. Oh, I think I saw some tomatoes in the front yard. Some ripe tomatoes. I'll have to get them tomorrow. I think it's cherry tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes started to bear. The big ones in the back haven't done anything yet. They got flowers, but they don't have no fruit. And I was just in time to get the cucumber. Oh, that crab meat tastes good tonight. That crab meat is tasting really good. So I'm going to put it all up in my spinach. I'm going to mix it with the spinach. And I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat it like a Gritty person. Gritty Pete. That's my name, Gritty Pete. That crab meat tastes good. What did I do with that crab meat? How did I prepare it? I don't remember. But it tasting better now than it did the first time I fixed it. The first time I did it, to me it didn't taste as good. It got a little fishiness to it. But now, it tastes so good. You see, I got my crab meat. I'm going to mix it with my spinach. So I got a source of protein and a source of iron and vitamins and antioxidant. And it is all organic. The only thing it might have in it is some rabbit urine and an occasional urination, but I don't urinate that much to be able to urinate across the whole yard and to fertilize all of the spinach. I tell you, what I got to do next is figure out how to grow some proteins in my yard. From chickens, or hog, or goat. And then, I got to get back to growing my grapes so I can make wine every year. Every year I've been making wine. When I get my privacy fence, and those people can't look over their cameras unless they want to see me fucking or something. Since they want to keep watching, I'm going to fuck in the backyard and let them watch me fuck. This is good. You see? There is no restaurant in the world that can make you a dish like this. You cannot get this dish anywhere. You can't go here and pay nobody no money, no amount of money to fix you something like this. First, they don't even know what wild spinach is. And they do not know the nutritional richness of this food. They think it's for poor people and peasants, but believe me, no matter where you are, you may feel you're too good to eat this. But I'm telling you, I'm going back to the basics. I'm going back to what my great-grandmother used to feed me. And I'm harvesting these wild plants in my yard. I'm foraging for my food. Because I got to be ready when Walmart, Kmart, and Walgreens, and Whole Foods, and Kroger, and Albertsons are unable to deliver our food. I'm sitting here waiting for the ancestors to respond to my call. As you can see, both of the fires are simmering. They're dead. They have very little oxygen. They have not yet fired up. When the spirit comes, they will roar in a strong force. I cannot make them go faster. You see, there is but a small smoke. But soon they will roar, because no time other than now, than when we need the help of our ancestors, we need their protection for the journey of the Exodus and the journey of the resistance. They both go together. And today we will ask them to look over those who have committed acts of evil against us. For no act of evil shall ever go unanswered, and they'll never go unresponded to. This is the principle of the voodoo and of the voodoo worshipper, and soon you will see this fire roar. While we wait, we play the music that the ancestors from Jacob to all the others will hear us, and they will come to our aid. Everyone is our friend. Every ancestor is a saint. They don't have to be a direct family member. God bless Kassav. God bless Jacob. Long live the memories of Kassav and the great gifts they have given to us. I'm sorry that you missed it, but Mimi came roaring with a vengeance. A vengeance that means that all kind of cancer, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, throat cancer, cancer of the spleen, cancer of the nose, cancer of the penis, cancer of the vagina, cancer of the uterus, cancer of the ovaries shall be visited on those whom have came against her man. What a God we have. What a God we worship. I pray that when I'm gone, that somebody will take the time to light a fire in my memory. I'm going to call upon my name, and I will come to your aid. I will come to your aid. Just remember the traditions I taught you. Just remember the practices I taught you, and you will be fine. You see this one? It's sizzling. This one just roared and I was away from the camera. But they'll both roar again as I feed them this green stock. When green stock turns to fire, that is the message. You know, the Negro people of the United States of America, they taught me that God is good, and that all the time God is good. And I took that saying and that belief, and I made it that the ancestors are good, and all the time the ancestors are good, and all the time the ancestors will answer your prayers and your call for help. Everyone knows that I need help. Mama Sin knows I need help. Auntie Yvonne knows I need help. Auntie Ines knows I need help. Fedelin knows her grandson needs help. And without their help, I would not be here today speaking to you. Without the power of my voodoo, I wouldn't be here today speaking to you. As you look at that fire come from being dead to being alive, know that there is truth in the resurrection, and the resurrection is true. Over there is a tree that Mimi planted. It died, and I brought it back to life the same way I had brought her back to life. And nobody have came to kill it, so it's still there. But they killed her. And they came for me. On June 27th, 2023, with a sinister plot to have me committed, but they failed. And now they have to go back to the drawing board. And while they do that, we're planning the movement of resistance, and we're planning for the Exodus, both at the same time, but we cannot leave without God in our back. We have to be mindful that we would be bushwhacked or ambushed, and we got to look behind us. This here are the remnants and the trimmings from what's called a crepe myrtle. When I grew up, I thought that the tree they used to take the fucking stick from to beat my ass. Coming to find out it's a crepe myrtle, and Mimi asked me to plant a couple over there so we can have some privacy. And I did it in a very bad winter, and there was some very, very, very weak plants that I took from the back side of the yard over here where these big crepe myrtles were that I just cut down. And I put it in the ground. And to my amazement, they grew and they survived and they grew tall. But Mimi would not be there to see them. She would have been called away. And now I can only reach her by the fire ceremony and the fire sacrifice. And so I will put some of this crepe myrtle right here in this fire, as green as it is. And it will come to life. It will burn. It will burn in the fire. And it will let her know that her command and her wishes were accomplished in this life. And then I'll ask her, I'll say, you know, those guys that came and got me, and that Chinaman, can you please take care of him for me? Take care of him for me, and take care of those officers for me. I don't have the means. I mean, we don't want to go that way. We don't want to go that way. We don't want to have no conflict with nobody. Not yet. Until the time is right. Until the time of the resurrection. When this tribe is resurrected and it becomes strong and it is feared and it is known the world over and feared the world over. Only this time can we fight in physical war. Until then, it's all spiritual war. And today you see the manifestation of our spirituality and of our voodoo and of our worship. And those who doubt the truth of it, it's okay. But I can assure you that through this fire, I'm asking for certain things and for certain victories that will come to pass very soon. I bless you as always, as your Pope and as your leader, and as a representative of God on earth. I bless you. You see, the ancestors have already blessed me with 2 cucumbers. It's the first crop. And I have to make a sacrificial offering unto the gods of these crops. The question is, do I sacrifice both or do I sacrifice one? Given that we have 2 altars of worship. I think I'll sacrifice one and cut it in half and put half in each other so that all of the gods may be pleased and they know that we have honored them. We have honored them in the way that they're worthy to be honored. I wanted to show you something else. I want to show you what's getting ready to happen over here because we've got all these seeds. We've got all these kale seeds, which I don't believe I've harvested most of them. And I'm not sure when exactly to harvest them. I probably need to prop this tree up, which I will in a minute. And over here I have carrot seeds. And I have lettuce. And all of these are just gonna break apart and fall all over the yard and grow wild and keep growing and making seeds again. And I want the carrots to be here so the rabbits can have a safe haven. And these are the corn seeds that I just threw in the yard at random, and they grew. So I'll take this stick, which is from my yard, and I'm going to use it to prop up this kale plant so that it can, its seeds can get mature. They can get mature and they can propagate throughout the yard. Well, this thing isn't sharp enough to go into the ground. And all over there are cantaloupes, and there are wild spinach. I want to tell you the story about the wild spinach that my son used to feed me with, and how it showed up here in Plano. And I used to try to eradicate it until I came to realize that it was a sign from God and a sign from the ancestors. And I'm making a little progress here and there, and I have all these weeds to pull out, and maybe before the night is over I'll get most of them, and if not, I'll try again tomorrow. But while I go along, I offer what I pick up from the yard into the fire as an offering to the gods. And I have to be careful not to hurt myself and not to get burned, because though I come from the fire, I didn't get burned. I didn't get burned, and now is not the time for me to get burned. I need to be old, and I need to be strong. I need to be ready for the Exodus, and I need to be ready for the resistance. And long live the resistance, long live the Exodus. And just look at that. Look how beautiful it is. You should at least get you a out place to burn a fire, to have a little contained buka where you can pray and make offerings. You know, you don't have to have all the good herbs and spices like me. Whatever you get from your garden or from your yard, if you don't have a yard, you can go borrow and weed somebody's yard for them and bring it over and burn it in your yard. And if you don't have a container like this, you can dig a pit and make a hole and just burn it in the hole. The gods will thank you for it, and they will remember you, and they will come to your aid always. I bless you as always, and I'll see you soon as always.